So my question is, again, I always see a lot of similarities between what's happening with Afro-Colombians and the history of African Americans here in this country.
Mm-hmm.
And you are aware, of course, of that period when we had the great Renaissance, called the New Negro Renaissance, and so on. I'm wondering, what would it take, or is there a possibility, or does it even make sense, that Afro-Colombians exploit their own culture as currency? You mentioned earlier that their African culture is essentially intact, just about. What does that mean? It's a currency. It's an asset. It's a great asset. At the risk of sounding, I don't know, maybe capitalistic or whatever, is this something that is this something that is exportable? Is it something that tourists might be interested in? Is there a way to, is there interest in the kind of renaissance of this culture again, as currency, as people like Alain Locke and others thought African American culture would be some kind of currency to move the agenda forward? I don't know. Is there would there be interest in that? Is there something going on in that sense at the local level, a localized effort?
Yeah,
pride and so on.
Yeah, there are many initiatives going on at that level, and many of us believe that the economic development of Afro-Colombian communities should be based in cultural and environmental assets, and we have those assets. So we share that perspective, and that's the way to get into very dynamic markets. One example of what is happening at the national level is that one Afro-Colombian group from the Pacific coast, from Chocó town, was awarded Grammy Latino last week for the best alternative production song, and they are very well known and international, and their production is based on the Afro-Colombian culture. If you see many of the artists in salsa and other rhythms are Afro-Colombians, very well known, but it's now how we can move that to be a lead force for economic development, and we share that perspective. We have, the last 3 years, the Minister of Culture was an Afro-Colombian woman. For the first time in history, we have a cabinet member. We don't have a cabinet member now, but she did a lot of work in terms of development and culture, the combination, and she knows what is going on at the local, regional, national level. She's here in Boston, taking some for a year at MIT. So Dr. Foster suggested yesterday in private to me, it would be wonderful to have Paula Moreno, who's a very good friend of ours, here at Willa, talking about these issues. A very good friend of all of us. She will tell you the details of what is happening and how a lot of progress in that area.
his delivery today, and I'm sure we would want him to share as we here at Wheelock try to inspire a world of good as well. So please join me as we thank him for his Okay, we're going to take a short break. The restrooms, everybody knows, and then we have lunch set up. We invite you to stay, please, and to continue the conversation. And of course, Dr. Foster is going to lead some, give some reflections, more conversation about Phelps Stokes, entertain a kind of free. He's a fascinating man as well, and so we really want you to stay and spend some time with us as we enjoy a light lunch.